The AMBA generations were not arbitrary renaming events. Each one answered a new integration problem. Public ARM material places AMBA itself in 1996, before AMBA 2. As SOCs moved from simple shared bus designs to deeper concurrency, coherency, and eventually chip-to-chip scale, protocol requirements changed. AMBA evolved in layers, keeping useful ideas from older generations while adding new protocol families where they were needed. The story starts with AMBA itself, not AMBA 2. ARM says the specification was stable by September 1995, and public AMBA material appears in 1996 with ASB and APB. In 1999, AMBA 2 adds AHB as the higher performance system bus. That gives designers a practical hierarchy, a stronger path for processor and memory traffic, and a simpler peripheral path at the edge. This is the baseline integration vocabulary that many later systems inherit. ARM dates AMBA 3 to 2003. This generation introduces AXI and ATB, and it adds AHB Lite for simpler single-master subsystems. So the family starts to branch by use case. AXI for higher throughput and concurrency, ATB for trace, and AHB Lite where a simpler memory-mapped interconnect is enough. That is why AMBA 3 has had such a long life. AMBA 4 takes the AXI direction and pushes it further. ARM dates this generation to 2010 with AXI4, then adds ACE in 2011 to extend coherency across the system. The center of gravity is now throughput, deeper concurrency, and shared memory scale for processors, DMA engines, and accelerators. AMBA 4 does not start the AXI story. It scales and hardens it. AMBA 5 broadens the family again. ARM announced AMBA 5 CHI in 2013, and ARM's published timeline places that step at the start of the latest generation. The important point is scope. AMBA 5 is not only CHI. It also includes AXI5, ACE5, and AHB5, with later updates adding features such as APB5 signaling and CHI chip-to-chip expansion. So AMBA 5 is the generation for coherent fabrics, scalable transport, and refinement of the classic bus families. Before leaving the timeline, one point matters. One common misconception is that a new AMBA generation replaces every older protocol everywhere. Real systems mix protocols based on workload, complexity budget, and legacy reuse. A low-speed control island might remain APB-centric while coherent compute clusters rely on CHI. The label tells you what protocol can do, but the workload still decides which one belongs in a design. If you keep one model in mind, use this. Public AMBA history begins in 1996 with ASB and APB. AMBA 2 adds AHB in 1999. AMBA 3 arrives in 2003 with AXI, ATB, and AHB Lite. AMBA 4 follows in 2010 and 2011 with AXI4 and ACE. And AMBA 5 begins with Qi in the 2013 period while also extending the family with AXI5, ACE5, and AHB5. The pattern is expansion by system need, not replacement for its own sake. If this generation overview was useful, like and subscribe to be notified of future videos. The series continues with the AMBA timeline, then version history coverage and latest version walkthroughs for each major standard, including overview, RTL, and firmware focus cuts. Right after this, a short glossary will define the main acronyms used in the video. Here is a short glossary for the main acronyms in this video. AMBA stands for Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture. SoC means System on Chip. HB is Advanced High Performance Bus. And APB is Advanced Peripheral Bus. ATB means Advanced Trace Bus. XI means Advanced Extensible Interface. AHB Lite is the simplified AHB variant for single master subsystems, and ACE means AXI coherency extensions. Finally, Qi means Coherent Hub Interface, and C2C means chip-to-chip. DMA means Direct Memory Access, where hardware moves data without constant CPU control. Together, these terms mark the shift from classic on-die buses toward coherent fabrics that can extend across die boundaries.